If you're blessed enough to know what season you're currently in your life and have the clarity to know what version of you is required for that season, the most dangerous thing you can do is allow anybody to convince you to act, operate, or think different than what you know is required from you this season. It's extremely, extremely important that you block out all of that noise, all of those suggestions, and you double down on the momentum of the clarity of what knowing who you're supposed to be. You have to double down on that energy. You have to double down on that momentum. And it doesn't matter what other people say, because you have to be able to be certain within yourself of knowing the season that you're in. And I think that's the part that a lot of people don't recognize is the reason for why they're not where they want to be. They don't know what season they're currently in their life. So you might be in a season where you need intense focus, where you have to make certain sacrifices. And then you might hear somebody say, oh, well, make sure that you're spending time with your family, or, oh, well, make sure you're giving yourself time to relax and reset. If you know that you have to put in more work than what is required by somebody else based off of their standards, then you have to do that. You can't allow other people's opinions to sway you and your belief in knowing how you need to move forward. And that is the number one thing that gets people off kilter. You're taking all of these different opinions and perspectives of people who aren't in the season that you're in. And even maybe people are in the same season as you, but they don't know what's required of you for this season and how it relates to your life. And the issue is that a lot of people will think that they have to do it all at once. They have to make sure that they have balance. You might be in a season where balance is the last thing that you need to have, where balance is the thing that's going to hold you back from getting out of this season and into the next level. And until you can identify that and get clear on that, you're going to repeat the same cycles and the same loops, and it's going to feel like you're in the same season over and over and over again. And this is why people never make progress. People can't just understand, okay, for this season, for this entire year, I have to operate completely differently for a set period of time. And people don't want to make those sacrifices. People don't want to take the time to recognize the season that they're in and what's required of them and carry it out until that season is over. People don't even have the clarity of knowing what season that they're in. So if you're blessed enough to know the season that you're in and what's required of you, you have to stay the course. You have to double down on that momentum regardless of what people say. Regardless of what people say. For me, I know the season that I'm in right now for this entire year, I have to have tunnel vision. For a year, I have to have tunnel vision. I'm not focused on hanging out with friends. I'm not focused on dating women. I'm not focused on traveling. I'm not focused on spending things on purchases that I would like to have. But I can't do any of those things right now because I know what this season requires of me. I'm in the playoffs right now. I'm in the playoffs. And the playoffs require a different version of me than the regular season did. And a lot of people don't recognize that. A lot of people are performing to seem and appear as if they are in a different season or a different phase of their life when they're actually not. Which is why social media has people's perspectives on where they're supposed to be and what they're supposed to do so messed up, because you got people posting on social media as if they're performing in the playoffs or performing for a championship game, but they haven't even done training camp. So you're looking at this and you're thinking, oh man, I have to do what they're doing. No, you might be in training camp right now, and you might have to just be getting the reps in for training camp to prepare you for the regular season. You might be in the regular season right now, and you know you want to get to the playoffs, so you got to already have the mindset of how am I going to get to the playoffs from the time the first game starts. You might be in the playoffs, but you can't just think, oh, I'm in the playoffs. No, I'm taking the ring home. I got to have the championship game mindset. And that's the difference. You can't listen to people who are in the playoffs, but they're not thinking about winning the championship game. They're thinking about what vacation they're going to take after they get sent home. So you have to realize that you can't take people's perspectives or people's opinions about how you're conducting your life for the season that you're in. You can't adopt those things unless it's somebody who's already at that next level that can identify blind spots that you have, so that way you can remove them and get better and get there quicker. You need to cut out everything that everybody else is saying. You need to be selfish. You need to be so focused and dedicated on what it is that's in front of you and what you know is required of you that you're blocking out all of the noise. You have to do that. And the thing is, seasons change. Seasons change. So it's not like you're going to be doing this forever, but it's a blessing to be able to have clarity and understanding of the season that you're in, because most people don't even know what season that they're in. That's why they repeat cycles. That's why they self-sabotage. That's why they never get past the phase of life that they're in and learn the lesson that they need to learn, because they don't even know what season they're in and what's required of them to learn those lessons, to go through those things, the parts of their mind and their identity that they have to transform in order to move past this season of their life and step into a new one. And that is the biggest thing. So if you have that clarity, you have to realize that that is an extreme blessing to have that clarity, and you have to protect that. And you cannot allow other people to sway you off course based off of their own uninformed opinions. I'm dealing with this right now. I didn't have clarity of the season that I was in up until probably about 2 weeks ago. Like serious, profound clarity on the season that I'm in and what's required of me. I'd say for the entire year up until now, I thought I had clarity of the season that I was in, and I kind of knew, but I was never willing to make the sacrifices for what was required of me. I was trying to do everything at once, right? I was trying to operate or live the lifestyle of somebody who won a championship game, right? Without recognizing that I haven't even prepared for the playoffs yet. So now that I understand these things, there are certain sacrifices and things that you have to, like, I literally have not left the house in probably like a week. I will wake up, do my morning routine, step outside here on this terrace to get some fresh air, go in there, work, step out here for 5 minutes, go in there, work. I haven't even really interacted with people over the past week, but I know that that's something that is required of me right now and was required of me this week. And there were thoughts in my head of like, oh man, you don't want to lose your social muscle, and you want to go out and you want to talk to people and you want to do these things and you want to make sure that you're doing that. And then I had to remind myself, no, that's not what I have to do right now. What I have to do is lock in on the mission and the goal and focus on the key inputs that I know I need to do. I know myself to be a socially confident person. So I know that once this season is over, I'm going to be able to pick back up where I left off. I don't have to feel like I need to do all of these different things all at once at the same time. No, I'm isolated and focused on one key aspect of my life that I know I have to get dialed in because it's required of me. And there's nuance to this, right? Because a lot of times people will say, oh, make sure you're not, in my case, it's business. I have to really, really focus on business. And people will say, oh, well, don't focus so much on the business that you forget to socialize. Don't focus so much on the business that you forget about your dating life. Don't focus so much on the business that you forget about your family. Don't focus so much on the business that X, Y, Z. But the thing is, that is an excuse. It's an excuse to not be fully focused on what you know you have to focus on. And for me, that example is business. It could be any other area or aspect of your life once you have the clarity of what season you're in and what's required of you to move through this season. But for me, it's business. And I know that if I take the perspectives and the opinions of other people that will tell me those things, it will get me off course. I'll be distracted. I'll have so much noise in my mind that I won't be doing anything good. I'll be halfway dating here, halfway doing social events here, halfway focusing on my family, halfway, and then nobody gets served properly. So I know I have to put 110% of my focus on what is pertinent to me right now. And the thing about this is that what this does when you make these sacrifices is it creates alignment. It creates alignment because if I had a friend come to me and say, hey man, I got this event that's coming up. I think it'd be really good for you to go because you'll meet people that I think can help you with what you're trying to build. I'm there instantly. But if friends hit me up and say, yo, bro, let's go out. No, I'm not going out. No, I'm not going out at all. I don't care. Or if I meet a woman at that event that my friend invited me to, and I notice that we're aligned, we have similar thought processes, similar values, similar perspectives on what we want to do for our lives. Boom, ask for her number, try to get her on a date and learn more about it. But I'm not about to just be talking to women just for the sake of trying to bust a nut. Like you have to get so clear on what is required of you for the season that you're in, that you can eliminate all of the noise, because that is the biggest thing that's holding you back. I guarantee that's the biggest thing that's holding you back. It was the biggest thing that held me back. I would make progress and then I'd fall back. I would make progress and then I would fall back. I can never stay consistent because I allowed these false beliefs of thinking that I had to work on everything at the same time, that I had to be balanced, that I couldn't let myself get rusty in certain areas. Bro, that's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. I'm telling you, the people who think that way are the people who think about the vacation they're going to take after they get sent home by the team that won the championship ring. Because they're not focused on the core idea and understanding of what's required of them for the season that they're in. And the thing is, once you recognize that, you move into alignment. And when you move into alignment, you start attracting opportunities in these other areas and aspects and facets of your life that are adjacent to the main mission. And those things are effortless. Those things are effortless. You don't have to force them. You don't have to put so much practice and, oh, I got to improve here. I got to improve there. I got to do this. I got to do that. Bro, we got to stop that. We have to stop that. Especially in the male self-improvement space. Like, I'm telling you, y'all got to stop watching that stuff on YouTube, Instagram, whatever, on social media in general. You got to stop, because you're taking perspectives from people that may be in different seasons of their life than you are. And you think you got to do what they're doing, but you don't even know what season of life that you're in and what's required of you for that season. You're trying to train for the playoffs and you ain't ever been to training camp yet. Like, it's not going to work. You don't realize that, oh, you actually have to make more sacrifices because you're in the playoffs and you need to get to the championship game, but you're operating at a regular season level. So your body gets sent packing the moment you come across somebody who's training for that championship game. We have to recognize what season of life that we're in and what is required of us for that season, so that way we can move through it with efficiency, clarity, effectiveness, and alignment, most importantly. Alignment. Because the alignment piece comes from the clarity of knowing who you are, where you want to go, what season you're in currently, what's required of you. And once you have that clarity, you make aligned decisions. You're no longer second guessing yourself. You're no longer over contemplating or overthinking things. You're taking action. You're having the thought processes. You're having the beliefs and the habits that are going to get you exactly to where you want to go. And you're attracting opportunities in other areas of your life without even putting focus on them. Because now you've allowed yourself to align with the core mission and understand the lessons that you need to learn in this season, which opens up space and opportunity in areas that you don't even expect right now. But because you want everything all at once right now, and you feel like you have to be everything all at once right now, which is likely because you either heard it on social media, you want to prove something to people, or you want external validation. Because you want to do everything all at once, and you want to be great at everything all at once, you end up being good at nothing. You end up being mediocre at everything. And you repeat the same cycle, the same loops. You get frustrated, you make progress, you get frustrated, you make progress, you get off your kilter. Boom, you make progress, you meet a girl, next 3 months, you're out of commission. You ain't even been working on your goals. You get progress, you're moving forward, you end up linking up with some guys that are in the same field or realm or just doing the same thing as you. They're not on the same wavelength as you. You start hanging out with them too much, off kilter. You start focusing on your goals. You start moving forward. Your family's asking, why aren't you spending as much time with us? You spend more time with them. Their mindset starts to erode your own thinking and habits, off kilter. So if you can't get clear on the season that you're in within your life and understanding what is required of you for that season, you're not going to be able to make the sacrifices and actually move forward and actually be aligned. And one, move through the season, because that's the most important thing. If you don't ever move through the season, you're going to stay stuck. But as you move through the season, you're also going to attract aligned opportunities in these other areas of your life. But it requires you sacrificing, not putting the focus and energy on those things and putting the focus and energy on the main mission and the main goal. And the truth of the matter is 97% of the things that are going to come your way in these other areas of your life are going to be distractions. There's only going to be about 3% of the things that come your way that are going to truly be aligned. But those 3% of things that come your way that are truly aligned are actually going to propel you forward, not only in that perspective area, but also with the main mission. And you probably already know this, but you're wondering, why do I keep getting stuck? Why can I be consistent for a week and then I'm off for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month? And then it feels like such a hassle to get out of that down spiral, that negative momentum, and build up positive momentum again. The moment you get some momentum, you better protect that with your life. Double down on it. If people are saying things that contradict with the way that you're thinking, acting, behaving, and they're telling you you should slow down or maybe you should think about it this way, that is the sign to double down. Go harder on the way that you're moving and operating. That is the sign to double down on it. Because when you're aligned, your internal guidance system is going to constantly be course correcting you for the best path. So you don't have to worry about that. Just double down on the energy, bro. Double down on the thoughts, the habits, the belief, the mindset, the actions that you're taking that are aligned with the ultimate mission for the season that you're in. And this is the thing that's actually going to allow you to move forward. Because like I said, for the entire year, from January to August, I was in a loop, a cycle of self-sabotage, thinking that I was getting ahead, thinking that I was moving forward. But really, I was just spinning my wheels in place. And it wasn't until I recognized what season I'm in, what is required of me to move through this season, learn the lessons, become the man that can actually handle the next level, that I actually was okay with making the sacrifices that I needed to make. That I was okay with telling people, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to go out. Deleting dating apps off of my phone. Not trying to go out to talk to any women right now. I'm focused. I'm locked in. Now, if aligned opportunities present themselves, of course, we're going to take them. But everything else is just distraction and noise right now. And you got to protect the signal, the vision, the clarity that you have. That's the most important thing. If you can protect the clarity that you have within your mind, you will go so much further than a lot of people. So much further. Because a lot of people, if I'm keeping it a stack, a lot of people are taking action, but they're throwing shit at the wall. They're action. That's what you hear everywhere. That's what you hear on social media. That's what you hear in the self-improvement space. That's what you hear from all these people who are already at the levels that you want to be. But the key is, if you don't have clarity, and clarity does come from action a good amount of the times, just let me put that as a preface. This isn't, I'm not trying to say this for you to have an excuse to not take action. But if you're just taking action and you're not reflecting on what season of life you're in and what is actually conducive to where you need to be, you're just throwing shit at the wall. And so many people do that. They take action and just throw shit at the wall and expect something to stick. and nothing does. And then they get frustrated and then they fall off and then they try to come back and pick it back up. It doesn't work that way. You need the clarity in your mind first. And the clarity does come after taking action a good amount of times. But it also comes from being able to reflect and understand, okay, where am I at right now? How did I get here? What were the actions that I already took to get here? Why am I in this situation that I don't want to be in? And what do I need to change? What is this season going to require of me? What is this season supposed to teach me that I have been ignoring, that is uncomfortable for me to face? And what is required of me to move past that to become the man or the woman, the person in general that I need to be? So that's the biggest thing. We're about to be in September. There is September, October, November. There's 4 months left in this year. And you have a decision right now to either understand the season that you're in for these last 4 months of the year, or completely fuck them off and be in the exact same situation that you were in this entire year, thinking that you made progress, but not moving anywhere, spinning your wheels in circles, having movement, but no distance, taking action, but nothing sticking. So you have to get clear and have that clarity of the season that you're in, what's required of you for this season, the lessons that you're supposed to learn, and the person that is going to turn you into, so that way you're prepared for the next level to step into another season where you'll have to ask yourself those things again. So with all that being said, hopefully this provided somebody with some type of clarity, because this was something that I struggled with this entire year. And I just now got the clarity and the understanding of why I was struggling through those things. I had to go through that season too. I had to go through that period where I didn't know what season I was in, where I didn't have the clarity. And it had to get so painful to the point to where I sat my black ass down and actually thought about these things. So if there's one thing I'll tell you that can completely flip these last 4 months of 2026 for you, these last 4 months of the year, it's to get clear on what season of life you're in, what's required of you, and what you need to learn to become the person that's capable for that next level.